y'all, and welcome to another episode of Down Home Dirt, the show where we inspire, educate, and connect entrepreneurs. And today we're met with Suzanne Ross, and she is with the Johnston Community College Small Business Center. Thank you, and welcome for coming out.
Thank you.
Or letting us come out, I should say.
Thank you for having me. I'm really excited that you were willing to speak with us so that we could share some of the things that we offer. It's pretty awesome.
Yes, I just want to start this out with I came here whenever I wanted to start my own business in Johnston County. I had no idea what I was doing, and I didn't know the laws. I didn't know what I needed to file. I didn't know anything. So I came here and I met, and they went over everything, and we're going to talk about that today.
Awesome.
So tell us about yourself.
Well, my name is Suzanne Ross. You already said that, right? Okay, so I've lived in Johnston County since 1993. I'm originally from upstate New York area, and got a little tired of the snow and decided I wanted to move south. I've always vacationed here and loved it here. So I've been a part of JoCo for a long time. I didn't have the opportunity, unfortunately, to work in Johnston County. I spent many years traveling outside the county to work. So it's so exciting to be home and back in Johnston County and serving my community. So I'm loving the position that I'm in now and thankful that I have this opportunity to help entrepreneurs or people that are already in business strengthen their business and continue to be in business. It's just, I can finally say I have a job I love. I just love it. So
no, that's great. Cool. I'm with you. I love helping people, and that's something that I feel like connects a lot of entrepreneurs. So Tell us a little bit about the Small Business Center.
So believe it or not, we are a network of small business centers across the state of North Carolina. So there are 58 centers, one at every single community college across the state. And the network itself is in its 40th year. We have had centers across the state for 40 years. This is our 40th anniversary year. And it's surprising how many people, when I tell them what I do or where I work, they'll be like, I didn't even know you existed. So I think we're slowly getting the word out that we're here and we're available and that we're a resource for anyone in the community, not just a college student. I think they get a little confused because we're located at the college, but we are a part of the college, but still we're available to others outside the community. So did I answer your question?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. Just trying to think what you said now.
No. The next thing I want to talk about are what are some of the common challenges that entrepreneurs face, and how can they overcome that using the Small Business Center?
So that means I'll tell you what we offer for free, if that's okay.
Absolutely.
So the resources, we are state funded. So the legislatures are very supportive of helping small businesses and know that what a great role they play within the economy, the local community. So we offer free training, free webinars, free in-person seminars, counseling with a counselor, one-on-one counseling. Occasionally I can get the funding to where I'll bring in an expert. And so, for example, last January, we had to speak to an attorney for the day. And if you were a client of the Small Business Center, you could make a 30-minute appointment to come talk with an attorney and ask some legal questions for free. So I try to provide what most people need and to help them with their plans or, what are they going to do. So you had asked, what do businesses need or what do people need? A lot of times I'm finding people will have an awesome idea and they'll come to me and they'll say, I just need money. And unfortunately, that is not something I can do. I don't give money. We don't have those resources, but I can help people find grants or how to become lender friendly so that they'll know how to better prepare if they needed a small business loan. And just sometimes we have to come up with some creative ideas on how you can bootstrap your business and get it started and off and running. Another obstacle that sometimes people face is they have an awesome idea and they jump right into business and their product is awesome, it's fantastic to sell, it's doing great, but they don't do well with bookkeeping. I was never a numbers person. So it's now what do? I don't know. So being great in business and knowing how to run a business can be two different things.
I will agree with you on that, 100%. As an entrepreneur myself, there are a lot of things that I suck at, and I'm willing to admit that. And I have not gotten to the point where I'm hiring for a lot of things, but it's just steps.
Yeah. So we try to do the best we can to help somebody who's has questions like, I need to write a business plan. We have classes for that. I'm able to walk someone through writing a plan. I cannot write a plan for you. And it really doesn't make sense to have somebody else write your business plan because it's your business. But I can give revisions or talk about, how to make it stronger. And I can also basically, I think I spend a lot of time connecting people with, I don't know it all. I will tell you right up front. I'm not an expert in everything, and I'm not legally allowed to give any type of legal advice or tax advice. I can give you a little bit of information, but basically I network and show, hey, we're having this webinar, or we're having this seminar, or I know a person that I can connect you with. So that's
which is great. And we got connected through Dana Wooten at the Clayton Chamber of Commerce. I went there and we discussed all of the ways that the chamber can help your business. And she said, you need to go to the Small Business Center and you need to get information there.
Yes.
Which is great because I totally forgot about that because I have ADHD when I first started, because this was my first stop. And my most recent stop was the Clayton Chamber 4 years later.
It's good, though, because they work hand in hand. And there's chambers throughout the county that, if Clayton isn't the one that's closest to you, you can find a chamber that's near you. We have one in Four Oaks, Triangle East, and Smithfield, Selma area. So there's Benson has a chamber. There's plenty of resources and opportunities for people within the county. I mean, we're huge. This county's really big.
It is.
So I would take advantage of as many as possible as you can. I know some small businesses that are a member of more than one chamber, because they have business in those areas as well. So that's also something to consider and take advantage of everything that they provide.
Yeah, and then that's great for networking too, because they have all of their networking events, once a month and stuff like that.
Right. Now, did Dana talk to you about the LaunchJoCo program?
She did a little bit. However, if you would love to elaborate on that, we'd love to hear it.
Well, that's just an awesome collaborative program that's been put together. It started through Dana Wooten and through the Clayton Chamber, but it's this big initiative, which is really cool for small businesses, and that it's extensive. It's open now, and applications, I think, end September 15th. That's what she said. But there's a group of sponsors, community leaders. There's so much behind it. It's an awesome program to consider if you have a small business and you want to grow that, or even if you just want to look at where are some places that maybe you need to pivot or change. So it's very extensive. It's free to those that are accepted into the program. You need to apply. You go through a little mini interview if you're chosen to talk to us about why you need to be in that program. And then it starts in January of 2025, where you'll be taking classes. I think it's 14 weeks worth of classes. Every Tuesday night, dinner's provided. Ooh. But you have an amazing instructor that walks you through, and you talk about your vision, your mission, where have you been. You can use a software program called Live Plan that helps you plan all types of scenarios within your business. And then at the end of the classes, which end in April, you're paired up with a mentor in the community, and you spend May through October meeting with your mentor. And in November, we have a big celebration, because once you complete that program, we have graduation to,
just amazing.
But I think I'm very thankful that the program manager at the time, Melissa Overton, reached out to me and said, we'd really like you to be a partner with us. And it's the best thing, I think, for everybody, because it's such a great networking opportunity. It's neat. I could talk about this probably the whole hour and how cool LaunchJoCo is.
Which is exactly what we need, because we only heard, I said, a little bit from Dana, enough to pique interest, right? Yeah. And so if you want to go into more detail, I love it. We're actually meeting with Melissa Overton this week to learn more about her role and everything. So I'm really excited about that. So tell us more then. So it sounds like this is a support system, because that's one thing I always ask entrepreneurs. Tell me about your support system. And some of us don't have a large one. on. So this would be a great way to get that, to make sure that our business succeeds as well as we do.
And that's what's awesome, is there's such a group of people within Johnston County that want to see small businesses succeed. You know, KS Bank has been a huge sponsor of this program in the past, and we have other sponsorships that help, lend and they funnel money into this so it can be free for the people that are participating. And it's neat to see it grow as far as I think we're in our 4th year, because I'm a partner. I'm not in the decision making as much as Melissa and Dana and all of them, so they'll know the exact details, but I'm pretty sure this is our 4th year. I've only been part of it for the last 2, and just to see how much is involved and how much have improved. And like the very first class when they started, they got a nice certificate saying congratulations, you completed. They had a graduation for them, but it's grown so much that people are now giving us money for grants. So I think this year, if I remember correctly, they're going to be eligible to apply for $11,500 worth of grants. So this class is going to,
That's amazing.
Yeah. So the first class, like, wait a minute, but they're working hard to try to improve it and make it better. But just because you're part of that class doesn't mean you're done. We have the alumni come back. We have other classes that are offered beyond the scope of LaunchJoCo called Launch Beyond.
Oh, I have not heard about that. Can you tell us about that?
So that was an idea that also came to the committee from one of the former alumni. Her name is Shannon Sellers, and she's actually going to be part of the management team and take manager over of the LaunchJoCo program. But she went through the program and realized, there's still more that I want to learn. And a lot of it's very similar to what the Small Business Center offers, but we're limited on the type of classes we can teach. It's got to be completely business related, like how to start a business, how about your taxes, what about insurance. I can't do an HR related type topic with how to deal with a difficult employee, or there's some others. And she saw a need for, we need to figure out how we can offer those types of topics. She's done a networking topic. She's done, I'm trying to think, social media. They expand a little bit more. I can do social media, but this was more towards those people that, and chamber members. Anybody can participate. We repeat a lot of things, a lot of the topics. LaunchJoCo will run a topic that the Small Business Center is running, but it's needed because not everybody can attend at the same time, and we're always offering it over and over and over again.
It's great that you do that, because opportunity is something that a lot of business owners need, and they need it more than just one time because of the scheduling and of everything that happens in our lives. So that's great.
And one thing that, I will tell clients, the cool thing about the Small Business Center network that has 58 community colleges is the pandemic actually forced us to put a lot of our topics and information online. Before, it was all in person. So now, if I'm not running a topic that you're interested in here at Johnston Community College, you can go to our website and look at the schedule of webinars across the entire state.
Oh.
And it's huge. If you do a search for how to start a business, it will only show you the first 100 replies, and it's usually only 2 or 3 weeks out. We're running them over and over. And the reason that I recommend people look at that is because there's different instructors, there's different people teaching the courses. Their experience is different. Some are business owners that are retired, some are consultants, and we don't run canned courses. We run things that are different and individualized, and so you can go ahead and take the same how to start a business 3 or 4 times, and you may not always get the same instructor, but you'll get a little bit different perspective and different information. And if you're like me, I need it 3 or 4 times drilled into my head before I actually feel like I learn sometimes. So
no, absolutely.
I will take repeats over and over, but that's available to people, so that's pretty cool.
And this is all free.
It's all free.
And that's amazing.
I do say it does come with a little bit of a cost.
Ooh, tell us.
The only cost is I beg people to please take a few minutes, and if you get a survey asking about your experience with the Small Business Center, to fill that out, because that data is used to determine whether or not we get funding again the next year. So, they want to see that I'm using the taxpayers' dollars wisely, that we're impacting our community. We're starting jobs, we're starting business, we're retaining jobs, we're helping get grants and loans. And so they collect that data. It's all confidential. Anytime somebody comes to talk to me, it's confidential. Nothing is shared as far as ideas or even incomes, but they get the data about, yes, the Small Business Center at JCC started 16 businesses last year. So, and that takes a lot of time to get that data together. So I often feel like I'm asking people, please just fill out that survey and let them know that we've helped. Or you were in a webinar and it was great. Or, it wasn't the best. And I would need to know that, because we want to make sure that we're providing quality information. And also you can give us some ideas on what topics you would like to see, because sometimes if there's some that we're not running and we can put that data together, we might be able to add that and say, we need funding additionally to help with this area. So
No, that's really great. And I think
So
the
that's the
survey's
cost.
Yeah,
Please
I think the survey's a great
take the
idea.
time. Yeah.
Yeah. Please make sure you fill them out. All right,
I
guys?
know. I
That way
do
we can
ask
have
that.
more programs like this.
Yes.
Because I know that I've taken some in person and some on the internet. The first one I took was you had a tax lawyer here.
Yes.
And she went over just kind of the basics and where you can find yourself in trouble, what to do if you get to that situation. And these are really helpful, because even though I'm not in that situation, I need that knowledge. And I really appreciate that. And then we had taken, I say we all the time, and my daughter and I were best friends. We had taken a course for bookkeeping, just the basics of bookkeeping, which is something like you mentioned in the beginning of the podcast, is something that not a lot of us, when we start out, we're like, no, we're like, cool, we know the business, we know the service we provide. The rest of it, it's not happening.
Right.
And we can't always hire somebody. But I did do a podcast with a bookkeeper, and she had said that regardless if you know what you're doing or not, you still need to double check, inspect what you expect. So taking the class, you'll at least know what you're looking for to see if something happened. So it's all informative, and I love it. And I see that you have a paper here today. Do you want to share with us what the future webinars are?
So these are just an example of some of the webinars and seminars that we have coming up. So every Monday night we have a webinar, which is nice. So people expect there's going to be something running for the most part every Monday. We won't be doing it on Labor Day, but we'll have, September 9th is going to be the basics of bookkeeping, small business taxes that you were talking about the following Monday. Wednesday, September 18th, this is something I'm really excited about. It's a new topic for us. It's going to be small business full coverage insurance. Are you really covered? And it's going to be here in person. We have a local business owner in insurance, Matt Gorman, who is going to speak and teach the class for us. We will offer that as a hybrid format, like live streaming, that if you just cannot come in person, we'll try to set it up so you can log in online. It's still not the best experience, so if you could come in person, it's great, but it's there in case you can't, and you can at least listen in or see what's happening for the most part. So that's happening from 6 o'clock till 7:30 here at the Workforce Development Center in Clayton.
And the address here is 135 Bestwood?
It is 135 Bestwood, yes. And then we're going to be doing, in September, for those people that are in business already, you might want to start thinking about your holiday and marketing. So we're going to have a Saturday session from 10 till noon, and it's planning your holiday marketing. And we have an excellent instructor for that. So local business owner, Shanna Capps. Who
I love her.
JNow Magazine, digital. She does everything.
We need to get her on the podcast.
Google certified, yes, you do. She does a lot with helping businesses learn how to get a presence through Google and analytics and understanding how to, all of that works. It's way over my head.
Same.
But she does some amazing sessions for us on Saturdays and their webinars, so people can attend that from home as well. As you're having your coffee, join us. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
The other topics are how to build credit for your business, and then we're kind of going back to how to start a small business. So we rotate because we want to try to reach as many people as we can. The other thing that we're really excited about that I don't think's been done at our Small Business Center for a long time is in January of 2025, on the 18th, we're going to have a small business resource seminar, center, I don't know, what's the word?
Expo?
Expo. Goodness, I couldn't think of it for some reason. Yeah, it's a summit. That's what the
There
word
you go.
was. Small Business Summit on main campus at one of our newest buildings, the engineering building, the wood engineering building. It's going to be from about 10 till noon, nothing real long, but we're hoping to bring in all types of resources for someone who might be thinking about starting a business, and it can be your one-stop shop to talk to people. We're going to have a panelist of a marketing person, insurance person, hopefully an attorney. We've been speaking with the NC Bar Association about getting an attorney as a panelist, and a grant writer has agreed to be a part of it, or somebody who has grant experience, so to help people find money for their ideas. So I'm real excited about that.
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
We're hoping that you can come that day and have your list and have a bunch of questions and meet some of the people in the community that offer these services or that can help in addition to seeing the Small Business Center. So.
Yeah, these are really great topics, and I love that you mentioned the insurance, because I started my business and I did this whole Google thing. I get on Google and I'm like, business insurance. Well, I didn't know what I needed, so I ended up paying $500 for a 6-month policy, and then I met my insurance guy who laughed at me, of course, and he's like, I'm laughing because this happens a lot, not because you did it. And I was like, thanks. But he had mentioned that there were so many things that I needed to think about in my business. So he laid out so many questions and was like, how is this going to work? How is this going to work? And my insurance went less than half of that.
Wow.
And so I am really glad that you're having an expert come in and speak about that, because that is something that we just don't know immediately.
Yeah.
And especially with being new to the area. I'm not from here. I'm from Florida, so things are a lot different down there.
Yes.
And obviously our liabilities and everything else. Like when I started my business down in Florida, it was a $15 business license is all I had to do.
No kidding.
And I was like, cool. Then what? And then, obviously I had to go get liability insurance, but like maybe I didn't explore it. And I'm sure that's been, God, I feel old now, like 20 years, but still, this was back 20 years ago when I started the business. And so I didn't know anything. And so when I came here, I was like, I don't want to make the same mistakes again, because I think that failure is the door to success. And since I had already failed, in my opinion, once and not knowing what I was doing, I wasn't about to do that again. Yeah. So I came here and they had laid everything out for me and then told me I needed to get insurance. But now that you have an expert, it's somebody you can come talk to and actually get an idea of what it is you really need.
Right.
And this is great. And I love that you're having the little summit too, because that's a great one-stop.
Yes. That's what we're hoping. We surprisingly, well, maybe not, but January is one of our busiest months. A lot of people are thinking about New Year's resolutions and maybe doing something different, or they have a side hustle already or a hobby that they might want to consider turning into a business. And so we want to be available. That's why we picked that month. We figured, we get a lot of requests and people wanting more information. We thought, well, let's just do it and bring everyone together if we can.
It's actually a fabulous idea, because I know January is really busy for gyms, but like for my business, it's slow. So I would have more time to be able to enjoy these little seminars and things like that, so that I can better myself, to be honest. So new year, new you. I like it.
I like that you brought up the idea about learning about insurance, unfortunately, the hard way. I've had people, and it's frustrating for me when they decide they want to choose their structure. Like, we have an awesome Secretary of State, Elaine Marshall, and if you go to the North Carolina Secretary of State website, they have little tutorials and videos on there that if you want to register to become an LLC, how you do it, how much it costs. And I want people to just know that it is something you can do yourself if you wanted to. You don't have to pay thousands of dollars to somebody to do it for you, and just do a little bit of homework. Of course, if you're comfortable, and I think you should speak to an attorney if this is your first time and you want to be sure. But sometimes you need to be careful, and when you do register, if you do it as an LLC on the Secretary of State, it opens up to where you might get some spam or people saying, you have to.
Yes,
scam,
I remember that.
Scares me. You didn't do this right. And I always like that people reach out to us and say, hey, I got this letter after I registered. Is this legit? And I'll be like, no, you don't need to do that. Be careful. So that's, I strongly say talk to somebody here at the Small Business Center or go to the Secretary of State's website and do some of your own homework. There's the NC Bar Association. There's all types of things that you can do so that you're not spending money unnecessarily or getting scammed. I don't want that to happen to anybody, and unfortunately there's so much of it right now. Very rampant. So that's all. It doesn't hurt to take your time and to plan and to just ask some questions.
No, absolutely. So, can we talk about the program that when I first started here, like how we talk about that?
When you first started?
Yeah, when I first started, I came in and they had gone over like all the different things that I needed to do with my business.
You probably got a checklist.
Yes.
We have a little checklist that we put together that pretty much does tell you, hey, you should probably do this first before you do anything else. If you don't become an LLC, you can be a sole proprietor, but you still need to register your business through the Johnston County of Deeds. And that's, something, it's just a piece of paper, about $26, a little form and how to do that. But that checklist will bring you all the way through things to think about. Simple as once you have a business name, you should probably look on the Secretary of State's website to make sure no one else has that same name, or even Google it somewhere. That has happened to a couple franchise owners or small business owners that turned into a franchise and then realized, oh, there's another business in another state with the same exact name, so they couldn't franchise that title. And in fact, I don't know, it's public knowledge, so I hope they don't mind me talking about it, but if you've ever heard of Andy's cheesesteak, the Andy's small, everybody thought they went out of business. They didn't. They're now Highway 55. But the reason why they were Highway 55 is they wanted to franchise, and there was a small business called Andy's. I think it was in South Carolina or somewhere, and they weren't able to do that. So they had to rebrand and redo things. It's the same management, same food, same company, but they had to do a different name. So everyone, you want to try to learn to make sure that you can't catch everything, but it helps to just do some of that research ahead of time. I can show you how to do some research on demographics of Johnston County. Both chambers, I know Triangle East and Clayton Chamber, offer a program called Size Up Johnston County. That is also free. You can go to that and do some searching on, what's the income, or how many businesses are similar to the idea that I have? Who would be my competitors? Are there any vendors I could buy from in Johnston County that instead of waiting for somebody to ship information, are there local vendors that I could use to help my business? So there's just so much.
That's a lot of resources.
I kind of went off tangent there, but basically
great.
What you had was probably a checklist of things to do and to look at, how to get an EIN number, that type of thing. And it's something we try to walk people through when they come talk to us. Or that's also available. If you don't have time and just want to check it out, it's available under resources at the Small Business Center on our website. We have that, and we have a funding document that our program assistant put together. It's amazing. It's got all types of links and information of the different types of organizations that provides grants and fundings, and it's about 14 pages long, but it's very intensive and very helpful.
We will add those links when the episode drops so that everyone can get to it immediately.
That would be perfect.
This is great. I'm so excited. Lots of things I didn't even know about. And again, I started 4 years ago. So I'm going to caution every entrepreneur, don't wait 4 years like I did. Go ahead and check in. I'm going to say once a year to make sure things didn't change and that you're on the right track.
Awesome.
Because that is something that I still haven't done. I'm working on it.
I know, all of us, but that's how we roll,
Well, and that's why I do this podcast. Like I'm learning right now where everyone else is learning. So I don't try to go in and act like I'm an expert. Absolutely not. We're all learning at the same time, and you get to see it right here.
And things change so much, you have to continue to learn and be willing to learn. So
that's true, especially as like an entrepreneur. Well, anywhere in life, I should say, that things constantly change. But being an entrepreneur, you have to learn like how to pivot, when to pivot.
From us, letting you know what's happening, some news you might need to know about. The thing that was new that happened this year was the beneficial ownership information that's now a new requirement for businesses that are a corporation, so an LLC, S Corp, sole proprietors, not so much. But it's our Department of Treasury. Well, I should know this. But Financial Crimes, Department of Financial Crimes, FinCEN. So that's the part of our government that is trying to make sure that people aren't establishing or starting an LLC for fraudulent purposes, that they're not funneling money, that it's not terrorists, that it's not something that's going to hurt the U.S. So they're asking everybody who already has formed as an LLC to just give them a little bit more information. It's like one sheet. You've got it. You can do it online. It's free. You only have to do it once, but it will have your information. Look, like 10 minutes. It took one of my clients, and it was your license information. It's just very similar to your LLC.
I was going to say, when I filed my annual report, I remember seeing that and going, this is weird, and filled it out.
I know, but I'm glad you did it.
Yeah.
Because they're pretty strict on if you don't. I think it's like a $500 per day fine past the deadline of when it's due, and also you could be charged with a felony for not giving them the information they want. I believe it was a felony. Don't quote me on that. I need to know that for sure. Like I said, there's so much to remember and to keep up with, but I can give you the website information for that. So what they did, it started January 24. If you formed your LLC prior to that, you have until the end of this year, December, to do that report. If you formed your LLC during the year of 2024, it's 90 days. After 90 days of the date you created your LLC, you need to submit that report. In 2025, it's going to change to, I think, 30 days. So once you file, kind of like when you did yours on the Secretary of State, just do it right away to get that in there.
Yeah, I was like, this is kind of invasive, and I didn't understand. Obviously, I need to do my, reevaluation, but I didn't understand. I was like, okay, but here you go.
And it's very new. There was a lawsuit that was filed against the government in Alabama. There was a National Small Business Association that sued and said, we don't want to do this, and they won temporarily. And it was frustrating because there was a podcaster and someone on YouTube who has millions of followers who then went online and said, guess what? You don't have to fill out that form anymore. Don't do it. And it's not true. If you read the fine lines, it said it's only applicable to the people that sued. So if you weren't a part of that association, if you were from the state of Alabama, you were still responsible for doing that report. And so it's, again, in the courts, it may change. But it's the same information that you pretty much give the Secretary of State. And I don't know, I guess they don't have the resources to just pull it from each secretary. I'm not sure why, but it's not anything that you're giving up. So I would just recommend at this point, just fill out that form. But that's me. But if you could also talk to an attorney and say, what's the best route? Do I need, if you really don't want to give them that information, find out what could happen if you didn't, or,
yeah, absolutely.
That's just,
do your due diligence.
Absolutely.
Like, that is my big thing.
So I always have to say, even though it's my opinion, doesn't always mean it's but if I were a small business owner, I would comply.
Yeah, just make sure you're, crossing all your T's and dotting all your I's.
Exactly. And if you need help with that, let us know.
That says, okay, so you can help too.
Yeah, I can't fill it out again for a person, but I can show the business owner where to go and what's needed.
No, that's great. So is there any other information that you would like to share with us?
I don't know.
I am very excited that you let us come out today and that you let us film on location. So you want to tell us about the facility here?
Okay, so yes, we are the Workforce Development Center here in Clayton, which has been funded for from the pharmaceutical companies in the area. They do a lot of biotech training. We offer all types of services here, but the small business center is part of workforce development, and so that's why we're also located here for the economy. I think I mentioned that, so let me be clear that we are for any resident of Johnston County, and we offer those resources for free, so you don't have to be a student. You can have family members. We do ask that you be an adult. We can't do young kids yet, which I think is kind of fun to see the small entrepreneurial spirit when you're a middle school or that type of thing. But it's an adult only, 18 and above. But the center is, we have a room where if you need to come use a computer, and we have some books that we could loan. If you need just a little bit of a meeting space, as long as we don't have another client using it, it's not big, it's just a small, this is part of workforce development. So I don't know that I could reserve this room, but I've got a small table where a couple people can meet. We have some counselors that meet. That's the other thing I wanted to share with you. Sorry, I'm thinking of things later.
It's okay.
We are very fortunate that I have a number of not only clients, but community leaders who are willing to give back to the Small Business Center. One would be like one of our counselors is a CPA, and she will meet with clients for us and answer questions for them, not during tax season. Now, I cannot pay her to do somebody's taxes, but I do, she gives us very reasonable rates that she could answer questions for a client of ours. We offer notary service. What else do we have? We have a number of counselors and mentors that support the Small Business Center and will actually counsel and meet with clients, because unfortunately I'm not able to meet with all the people that are interested.
I know there's a lot.
It is, and it's frustrating because I would love to meet every single person that wants to counsel with me, but I'm at 2 or 3 weeks out now with appointments even. So on top of other duties that I have, things going on as far as that data, the documentation, the annual reporting type thing. There's a lot more than just me sitting down and talking with somebody to help the center continue and to run. But anyway, I'm very thankful that I have like a marketing expert. We have somebody who is lending and funding. And I'm trying to think every topic that I can think of. I've been fortunate that I can find somebody who would be willing to work with our clients, if not volunteer to do it, or just offer me like a ridiculous discount rate than what the CPA would normally charge. It's just so that they can give back and support others. So
I'm getting a real good community vibe
oh
here.
my gosh,
Everything is all about community.
Yes, and it's great. It's so neat to be in this county, to see the support, to see how many people are trying to work together, because we can accomplish so much together as opposed to each doing our own thing. And I think it's going to pay off. I mean, already you see that we're the #1 growing. Well, I don't know if we're still #1, but we're up there.
Yeah,
as
I was
far
going to
as
say, this
people
county.
wanting to live and work, and I'd love to see more of that. I was one of those commuters that our economic director Chris Johnston talks about, that we lose like 60,000 people a day driving out of the county to go work, and there's nothing nicer than being home in your own county. And I used to commute an hour, and I don't miss that at all. So it's nice that we're here, and I'd like to have more of that in our county, so more people could be.
I was going to say, I agree 1,000%, because if you try to drive down 70 at any point, it is just packed with people either leaving or coming in. It's like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and I'm with you on that. So I work exclusively in Johnston County, and I've kept it that way for 4 years. I love it. I absolutely do not like driving the 20-30 minutes out to be able to work.
Yeah.
So I made myself a job here because I didn't want to leave.
But that's awesome. Yes, I just think there's a lot of opportunity, which is great. And there's so many, I mean, it's almost overwhelming. When I first took this role about 2.5 years ago, it's overwhelming how much is out there and resources. Like, where do you start? Who do I want to do a nonprofit. What do I do there? We're not just for businesses. We can help with nonprofits as well. So
that's amazing, though.
Use your networks, use the people that are here, and not everything's at a cost. A lot of it's available.
That's what I want to highlight with this podcast is, like, there are so many resources out there that aren't going to cost you anything but a survey and your time, and you get out of it what you put in. So, have a successful business.
Absolutely.
It's up to you to do that. So I'm really glad that you decided to let us come out today and film on set.
Thank you.
We were going to do it remotely, but we decided we wanted to kind of showcase everything that this building has to offer.
I appreciate that.
So thank you for letting us come out and do that.
Absolutely.
Do you have any lasting words of wisdom that you'd like to leave the listeners with?
So if you're interested in using the Small Business Center, I do ask that check out our website on the Johnston Community College website. All you need to do is go to the www.johnstoncc.edu, do a little search for the Small Business Center, and it'll bring you right to our webpage to where you can look at what our schedule is. You can request counseling, because counseling is by appointment only. Unfortunately, it's not to the point where you can just walk in and talk to somebody. And you can get additional links and resources to just about everything that you might have questions about. But please take advantage of that and let us know how we can help you.
Absolutely.
We're here.
And we will put all those links with the website, with the episode when it drops, so that they can go to your website. Those are the words I was looking for.
Got it.
Well, thank you again, and thank you guys for